I went to the doctors recently. I'm getting real personal, so I want to talk about it. You know, I had to go for a prostate exam. You know, and they was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to check you out because your PSA is kind of high." I said, "Well, who's it announcing to?" Right? And the doctor, he's like, "That's not funny. That's not funny. I'm just telling you might have prostate cancer." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I thought I got rid of her." But you know, so I went to the doctor's office and the nurse came to me and she was like, "All right, Mr. Fisher," she's like, "we need you to put this gown on." She said, "You can keep your top on, but take off your bottoms." I said, "First off, I don't wear bottoms, I wear pants." that sounds gay. That definitely sounds gay. I was like, she said, "You can keep your socks on too." I was like, "Hey, what kind of establishment is this?" Like, what's going on here? so they tell me, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have to give you a shot first. It's just an antibiotic. She's like, you need to bend over, and we're gonna put the shot in your ass." I said, first off, so I need 2 violations back there? And she was like, "I'm just saying." She's like, "Can you climb on this table and I need you to lay on your left side." I said, "Don't position me. I know what to do." And then I was like, "No, I don't know what to do." Right? Because you don't want to make it sound like you know what to do in this situation. So then I'm laying on my left side and he's like, "Can you pull your knees up?" I said, Right? Because he's vulnerable, right? So the doctor comes in and he's like, "Look," he said, "you're going to feel a little pressure back here." He said, "I just want to let you know, I want to make you feel comfortable." I said, "What you doing?" I heard something, you know, I heard that. He's like, I thought it was, I said, "What is that?" He said, "Oh, it's just a little KY jelly." I said, "It looked like Astroglide." He said, "Don't worry."
Oh, shit.
So he takes his camera and he said, I'm gonna go in your backside." He said, "I just want to check things out." So, you know, you as a man, you're like, "Well, how far you want to check, man?" Like, and you're like, "How long you gonna be back there?" He's like, "I'll just be a minute." Right? And so I said, "All right." So he goes back there and like he said, "You feel a little pressure?" I said, Right, because he hurt. It did. I was like, "That's too much." I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "Just breathe." I said, "Don't coach me. Don't coach me, motherfucker." Right? I'm mad. So he goes through it, and after he finishes, he's like, "Yeah, we're almost done here." He said, "You're doing a good job." I said, "What did I just tell you?" Right? Don't tell me I'm doing a good job. It sounds like me with my lady, you know what I mean? You ever had that, ladies? Y'all know, all y'all women, they was like, "Yeah, we know that how I feel, motherfucker." Right? Just that one time you said, "Ooh," and he was like, "Oh, wrong hole," right? So I said the same thing. He tried to put it up there. I said, "Wrong hole," right? So he's in there, and I was like, "All right, calm down, Dora the Explorer," because he was in there. He said, "All right, I'm gonna take the biopsy now." And he said, "You're gonna feel a little pinch." He said, "Did you feel that?" I said, I'm moaning like shit. I was like, "Damn, this how she sound?" Right? So after it was all said and done, he takes off his gloves, and he was like, "Yeah," he said, "You did a good job there." I said, "I see blood on the floor." I said, Hey. He said, "Now don't mind this. You're gonna be bleeding for several days now." He said, "Maybe a week or two, maybe to a month." He said, "You're gonna see blood." And so I thought he was lying until day 1. You know, like, Day 7 came, I was like, "I'm still bleeding?" My lady said, "Welcome to my world, bitch." "Yeah, you need a pad?" "I got one for you." Women do not have sympathy for shit when it goes into their world. I'm telling you, like, I started losing my head, and I'm telling you, women will say some insensitive shit, like, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah, you're like, "Oh, I cut a piece of my hair. Oh, it'll grow back." I said, "No, it won't, bitch. Look at this shit. I've been thinking it's gonna grow back for 10 years. I said, "That's why I wear these wigs. These are my wigs, okay? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? I put these on my hair. Hats are wigs. Just the official wig for men, okay? Yeah, just telling you." So well, I was mad. I was like, after that violation, I looked at him, I said, can I at least get your name? He said, oh yeah. I said, because I'm calling the police, okay? I said, the hell, I need somebody to contact what happened here. He said, but you signed for consent. So that's when I found out I was medically gay. Yeah, like I didn't ask for this shit, but it happened.